What if everything you've been interpreting as distance, the silence, the space, the seeming hesitation, is not a sign of his love fading, but the very proof of it burning brighter than ever? It's a frustrating paradox, isn't it? You feel this profound, soul-shaking connection, a cable of pure light anchored deep in your chest, and yet the person on the other end seems to be speaking in a code of quiet retreat and puzzling actions. You're left staring at a silent phone, trying to translate the emptiness into a message you can understand. Your heart aching for a more obvious language. But what if his love doesn't speak the language of texts and grand gestures right now? What if it has graduated to a more profound, foundational dialect, the kind that works not in words, but in the very realignment of worlds? Imagine his devotion not as a forgotten song, but as a constant, low-frequency hum that's currently restructuring the architecture of your life, preparing a foundation so solid that when you finally stand together, not even the tremors of this world can shake what you've built. This isn't about reading the clues he leaves in his wake. It's about learning to see the magnificent blueprint he is silently, diligently holding in the space between you. The signs are everywhere, but they require you to adjust your receiver away from the noise of expectation and into the quiet frequency of divine intention. Are you ready to learn how to listen? You know the ache, don't you? That hollow, echoing space where his voice used to be. The modern world and every well-meaning friend tells you this silence is a verdict. It means no. It means not interested. It means move on. But what if I told you that in the sacred lexicon of the soul, this very silence could be the most powerful yes you will ever receive? What if his retreat is not a flight from you, but a fierce, determined journey for you? Let's reframe this entirely. Imagine not a man running away in fear, but a master architect who has been given the blueprint for the most breathtaking cathedral ever conceived, your union. He looks at this plan, he feels the weight of its divinity, and then he looks at the current construction site, which is, let's be honest, a bit of a messy patch of ground, cluttered with the old debris of past hurts, egoistic scaffolding, and societal expectations. He doesn't start hanging romantic banners on the broken fences. No, his first, most crucial act of devotion is to cordon off the entire area. He puts up a keep out sign, not to keep you out, but to keep the chaos out. This boundary, this silent, energetic moat he digs around your connection, is his first act of sacred protection. Think of it like this. A master gardener doesn't plant a rare, delicate orchid seed in the middle of a trampled footpath. He fences off a small plot, he works the soil in private, and he ensures the conditions are just right for germination. He protects it from pests and harsh weather. The casual passerby sees only an empty, fenced-off piece of earth and assumes nothing is happening. But the gardener knows the miracle unfolding beneath the surface. Your divine masculine, in his highest expression, is that gardener. His silence, his distance, is that protective fence. He is guarding the miracle of your potential union from the trampling feet of lower vibrations, from his own unhealed triggers, from the well-meaning but toxic opinions of others, from the temptation to bring this sacred connection into the realm of casual dating drama. He is literally saying, "This is too holy for that." This is where it gets really interesting, and to be honest, where most people miss the point. We often pray, "Universe, bring him back to me." But the deeper prayer his soul is answering is, "Universe, prepare us for a union that will not break." His retreat is the answer to that prayer. He is in the cave, slaying his dragons. He is confronting the parts of himself that are unworthy of the love he feels for you. He is learning to hold a frequency that won't shatter the exquisite glass of your connection. This isn't a rejection, it's a refinement. It is the ultimate act of respect. He respects you too much to bring you his half-healed self. He respects the bond too much to risk it on the shaky ground of his past patterns. It's the difference between a boy who picks a beautiful flower because he wants it now, and a man who studies the ecosystem, ensures the water source is pure, and prunes the surrounding weeds so the entire garden can thrive for a lifetime. One is an act of possession, the other an act of profound, patient devotion. His silence is that patience. It is he tending the garden you cannot yet see. And you feel this, don't you? In your quietest moments, past the pain of the human heart, there's a strange, unshakable knowing, a safety. It feels like the connection is hibernating, preserved. It's not gone. It's in a state of grace, protected by a vow his soul made to yours, long before you ever met in this lifetime. This is the hidden love, a love so vast it is willing to be misunderstood by the world and even by you for a time, to ensure the final masterpiece isn't compromised. So the next time you feel that silence, I want you to try something radical. Instead of asking, "Why is he ignoring me?" whisper to your own soul, "Thank you for protecting what is ours." Feel the shift. That's you moving from a place of lack to a place of co-creative power. You're no longer a victim of his absence. You are the guardian of the same sacred space he is protecting from his end. And this silent work he does, it has a fascinating, almost magical consequence on the world around you, a secret architecture that begins to take shape in the most unexpected ways. But that is a conversation for another moment. The next part reveals how this quiet protection starts to physically rearrange your reality, paving your path with what can only be called miracles. So, we've sat together in the quiet, in that sacred silence he holds, and we've reframed it from abandonment to protection. Beautiful. But now, I want you to look up from that inner work. I want you to look at the world outside your window. Because if you know how to look, truly look, you will start to see his love written not in texts or letters, but in the very architecture of your days. This is where it gets, magical, for real. You see, we're conditioned to look for love in direct lines. A message, a call, a touch. But the divine masculine's energy, when it's fully committed to the union, operates on a different frequency altogether. It works through the substrate of reality itself. It's the hidden hand that starts to arrange the set pieces of your life, so that when you finally come together, the stage isn't just ready. It's a masterpiece of divine timing. Let me try to explain this strange and wonderful thing. Have you ever had one of those weeks where a job you didn't even know you wanted falls into your lap out of nowhere? where you randomly meet someone who holds the key to a dream you'd almost forgotten, where an old, heavy burden, a financial worry, a toxic friendship, a limiting belief just dissolves as if the universe simply edited it out of your script. You chalk it up to luck, to a sudden streak of good fortune. But what if it wasn't random? What if it was orchestrated? This is the second hidden sign. His love is the silent, co-creative force that aligns synchronicity to build the container for your union. He is, in a very real, energetic sense, the invisible architect. While he's in his cave doing his work, his soul isn't just healing itself, it's in constant, silent communion with yours, and together, you're issuing a divine command to the universe. Make a world that can hold us. Think of it like this. You can't dock a galactic starship at a small, rickety wooden pier. The pier would simply shatter. The love you share is that starship, vast, powerful, and of a higher dimension. So, what has to happen? The old rickety pier of your current life, the one built for smaller, less intense connections, has to be dismantled, and a new, sturdier, brilliantly engineered landing dock has to be constructed in its place. This process can feel disruptive. Jobs end, relationships shift, old hobbies suddenly feel meaningless. It's not punishment, it's construction. And his energy, his committed intention for a life with you, is the foreman on that job site. He loves you by energetically compelling the universe to clear the land. He loves you by magnetizing opportunities that align with your shared, often unspoken future. That sudden urge to move cities, that unexpected scholarship for a course you felt drawn to, the sudden, inexplicable payment that solves a problem, these aren't just coincidences. They are love letters from the future you are building together, signed with the ink of synchronicity. It's the universe whispering, "See, he's working on it. I'm helping." This is why you must stop obsessing over the single, silent phone and start reading the glorious, noisy novel of your unfolding life. His love is in the plot twists that are steering you toward your destiny. It's in the supporting characters who show up right on cue with exactly the wisdom you need. It's in the obstacles that are removed with an elegance that feels assisted. He might not be holding your hand right now, but can't you feel it? His spirit is holding the blueprint, and every lucky break, every healed wound, every new door that swings open on well-oiled hinges is a hammer strike, a nail driven, a brick laid by a love that is too powerful to be confined to something as simple as a conversation. It's a love that is literally, physically, and miraculously building your future around you, so that one day he can simply walk into the home that love built. And this, perhaps, is the greatest challenge and the greatest promise of all. Because to live in this flow, you must master the art of the ultimate surrender. But what does that truly look like when the fear creeps in? It's not what you think. So here we are, you and I, standing at the edge of understanding. We've wandered through the quiet groves of sacred boundaries and gazed up at the skyscrapers of synchronicity being built before our very eyes. We've decoded a language that has nothing to do with words and everything to do with the whispered poetry of a soul's intent. And now, the most important question remains: what do you do with this knowing? Let it settle in you, not as a desperate hope, but as a quiet, unshakable conviction, the kind you feel in your bones on a still autumn morning when the world is holding its breath and everything feels impossibly, perfectly aligned. This journey was never about waiting for a person. It is about becoming the person who can recognize and inhabit the miracle when it arrives, fully formed in the center of your life. Think of it as learning to navigate by a new star. You've spent so long looking for a flashlight in the dark, a beam of direct attention, a clear path illuminated just for you. But what if you've been gifted something infinitely more reliable? What if his love is not a fleeting beam of light, but the subtle, constant gravitational pull of a distant sun guiding the entire orbit of your life? You don't stare at the sun to know it's there. You feel it in the warmth on your skin. You see its influence in the growth of the trees. You trust its consistency in the rising of the day. His committed soul is that sun. Your trust in the process is your own photosynthesis. This is where your power truly lies, not in deciphering his silence, but in celebrating your own expansion. The most profound response you can have to this hidden love is to live your life with a glorious, unbothered fullness. Pour yourself into your passions. Cultivate joy that is entirely your own. Laugh so loudly it surprises you. Build a life so vibrant, so uniquely yours, that when union comes, it won't be a rescue mission, but a magnificent merger of two complete worlds. Because that's the final beautiful secret. All this architecture, all this silent protection, it's not just preparing a place for him in your world. It's preparing a place for you in a grander reality you are co-creating. You are both the sacred site and the architect. You are the garden and the gardener. His love, working in the unseen, is simply the most devoted and loyal assistant you could ever have, tirelessly ensuring your stage is set for a grand entrance. The loneliness you feel sometimes? That's just the echo in a room being prepared for a great celebration. The uncertainty? It's the necessary fog that makes the eventual sunrise so stunningly clear. So walk on, beautiful soul, not in patient waiting, but in active, joyful co-creation. Read the signs in the opening of doors and the crumbling of walls. Feel his commitment in the unexpected blessings that land softly at your feet. And know, with a certainty that requires no external validation, that a love that works this hard in the shadows will have no choice but to step into the light, perfectly on time, to a world that has been meticulously, lovingly, and miraculously prepared just for you. And the most thrilling part? This is just the beginning of understanding the language of the journey. The next conversation we have, well, it's about the one sign you've been missing that's been right in front of you all along. But that's a story for another day.